Hello everyone, Danielle here. Welcome to Community Distance Reiki. It's so good to have you here today. If you're new, go ahead and click that live chat button and feel free to introduce yourself and ask for any healing stones that support your greater good, or just set a healing intention and I'll pick the stones for you. We're going to spend the first hour building a beautiful crystal grid exactly to the request of each of you, and after that we will move into sending some Reiki to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. If you're watching this on the replay, hello, go ahead and if you'd like to hear us talk about crystals, go ahead and keep letting this roll. If you'd like to skip ahead to the healing, go ahead to about the 1 hour point or where you see the lights begin to dim, and just enjoy the music and the good energy. And for those of you who have returned, thank you. It's so good to have your support, and I'm glad that you're back. So let's go ahead and see what we have in the request, and I'm going to go ahead and see about bringing us over to that grid already in progress. And oops, there's yawn coming. Excuse me. Okay, so to start us off, we've got a mirror to help reflect any not so great vibes. We've got some copper here to help get the energy moving, break up any blockages. We've got some moss agate. This is a deeply spiritual stone. It helps with connections to other parts of yourself. If you're doing any kind of like inner child work, healing any old childhood patterns. It's also superb for anything like an illness that might be spreading throughout the body, whether that's an infection, a virus, what have you. This can be a really great stone. So that's moss agate. And I'm starting us off with some green peridot in there too. This can help to break up less than great patterns and habits that we have, helps us to kind of think of new ways to go forward. It also helps to support and grow the friendships with people that tend to be on our, appeal to our better side, so that we can continue growth alongside those friends. It's also supportive for things like depression, and if you have an intention for weight loss, certainly that. But yeah, otherwise, go ahead and make any requests that you happen to have, and we will add them on in. Oh, Susan, it's good to see you, and Greg, Chris, Brindley, good to see you, and Grace, I hope you're doing well too. Happy Wednesday to you also. Okay, great. So Grace, your healing intention is for getting smarter, lower back pain, and heart healing. To be comfortable with your own desires and needs and taking action. Okay, let's start there. So Grace is, I know you're studying and stuff, lower back pain and heart. So let's do some Amazonite for your low back pain. Amazonite helps the spine and spinal nerves. It's got a very calming sort of feel to it. It's also a wonderful stone for anyone who has a bit of a caretaker nature to them. If you tend to put others' needs before your own, if you tend to, lack taking care of yourself a little bit. This can be a stone that reminds you that you need self-care and that you are worthy of self-care. So that's Amazonite. Okay, and rhodonite can be helpful for the heart and for healing the heart center. Amazonite is good for breakups, unrequited love, that kind of thing. It's also a good stone if you are grieving someone that you loved and cared about. It can really help with that. It also helps with things like insecurities, as well as allergies, autoimmune type stuff, and the lungs and asthma. So that's rhodonite there. Tiger Eye is what I'm going to bring in for you to make you feel a little smarter. Tiger Eye helps with study and research. And it's also very protective. This is a stone that can help you see things almost like bird's eye view, where you can see all the moving parts as they come together. It also helps support you by bolstering your courage. It aids with big picture thinking. Entrepreneurship, if you're looking at something like that, like if you're looking to do something quite detailed, do a lot of research and study around, say, a business plan or buying a house or something along those lines, this can really be a helpful stone. Also really good to curb jealousy and envy. It helps to protect against people that might be coming at you who are motivated by that. But yeah, it also brings a lot of balance to the solar plexus, and that's the sense of self. So this is definitely one that's often recommended for study and research. Definitely suggest it. So I'm going to bring that in for you. Go ahead so you can make yourself smarter. There we go. And all the best with that. Also going to put in a little bit of lapis. When it comes to pain and inflammation, this is a really great stone. And we end up putting it out recently for a lot of folks are looking for some upward movement in their career. And so lapis can be really helpful. This is one that, in addition to both of those, it can help with integrity, honesty, the truth, being a straight shooter, working with people who tell you exactly what you're working with and what's going on. Also helpful for things like vertigo and hearing loss, personal responsibility, and if you're looking to curb disorganization, this can be a great stone. So lapis. Heather, welcome in. Okay, good stuff. Anne Marie, welcome in. Ah, got you. So your intention is to attract good, truthful people into your life. Lapis is really helpful for that. I'm also going to bring in, and I'm going to get to everyone's requests. And I'm also going to bring in honey calcite, which helps with that too. Everything from optimism to attracting good colleagues, friends, love interests, and the whole 9 yards. Honey calcite supports the solar plexus, which is the sense of self, the place of self, as well as the sacral, which is how we relate to other people. That's family, friends, colleagues, the world around us. So this helps support good, healthy boundaries and also a good defined idea of who am I? How do I fit here? How do I get on with everybody around me? So honey calcite for sure. Thank you for being here, and I will definitely get everyone's intentions here. Anxiety, weight loss, and negative self-talk. So let's do, for anxiety, my favorite anxiety stone is green calcite. Green calcite can really help in a number of ways. It helps with the anxiety, the stress in general. It helps kind of ease it and melt it away. It's very reassuring. but it also helps to release the physical tension we hold in our bodies from stress and from anxiety. So if you're kind of like wincing and tensing up, this will help start to unwind all of that. It also helps to bring a little bit of playfulness and joy into things, so it can kind of lighten the mood. So we'll bring that in. So that is green calcite. The next stone I have is epidote, and epidote helps with the negative self-talk. It helps quite a bit with that. It's also fantastic for the brain. It's a stone that's often given as a gift to folks with things like Parkinson's and to help recover from illness and injury. And if you look, you can see it's kind of green and pink. Yeah, epidote. Excellent stone for the negative self-talk. And for weight loss intentions, peridot here is very helpful, but I'm also going to put out some iolate. Iolate helps not only with that, but also with money management, better sleep, especially if you have like psychic sleep disturbances, and any kind of visionary meditation, psychopomp work, shamanic journeying, clairvoyance, being able to see spiritually. That is where we get into iolate. So I hope that helps. I'm glad that you're here. And I hope that you feel free to come back anytime that you like. So let's see. Brindley, comfortable with your own desires and needs and taking action. Comfortable with your own desires and needs. Amazonite for sure. But I'm going to grab something else too. And taking action. So the first one is Aragonite, which I know Chris is here. So we're also going to have Aragonite with blue Caribbean calcite. So I'll put that out now too. But the one that I'm most interested in is Aragonite by itself. So there's additional energy centers beyond just the chakras that most of us are aware of, the 7 chakras. That's only part of a very big system. And beneath the root chakra is something called the Earth Star chakra. And that's an energy center that helps us to show up in the world in alignment with our soul's purpose. So that is a stone, that is an area where we can feel quite stuck when we kind of know what we need to do, but then it's like a matter of getting up and doing it. And also with being aware of your own needs and championing your own needs when you need to. Aragonite, and this is a type of calcite. This is what it looks like. It's a wild looking stone. It helps to heal old wounds. It's great for emotional strength. It's helpful for, it's another stone that's helpful for tension held in the body from stress. So alongside green calcite for that, but also helps to deeply ground and helps to calm an overactive mind, but helps you to take some sense of connection to the steps that you're taking through life. So it's like not just taking steps and being motivated, but like a true motivation of motivated in the big picture sense. So I'm going to bring this in. So that's Aragonite. We'll see where that ends up. This is Aragonite mixed with Caribbean blue calcite. The Aragonite are the bits of brown there. The blue is aligned with the soul star, which is above the crown chakra, and that has to do with our sense of where we're going in life, our sense of where we're supposed to go, who we're supposed to meet, what we're supposed to do, that part of us that just knows. That is the soul star. So this stone is meant to balance both. It's two different stones at once. And with that, everything in between gets balanced too. So you have an optimal movement of Kundalini energy and things like that too. So that is Aragonite and Caribbean blue calcite. And I think that will help. And then also for motivation in getting your feet to the ground and like moving forward, polychrome jasper can be really helpful with that. It comes in so many different colors, from browns to blues to blacks. Polychrome jasper helps us to feel like excited and energized and able to move forward with a sense of not only passion, but also like a sense of mission. And it can be very reassuring and very energizing. So I hope that this helps too. So let's see and make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, you're so welcome. Hey, Fiad Luna. Belinda, good to see you. Let's see. And we've got some that. And I did see a request for ruby. Ruby and anything for innovative out-of-the-box ideas. Absolutely. So ruby is a great stone for like management. So thinking about all the different pieces and how to get everything to work in the greatest harmony for the most efficiency and getting things done. It's absolutely a powerful stone. I'm going to go ahead and bring that out. Here we go. So ruby. This can also help you develop the courage to be who you are despite the input, the views, and even the putting downs of other people. It can be really supportive for that. Yeah, and also any kind of leadership, whether you're taking leadership in your own life or taking a leadership role in a job, in a community group, in any other way. So ruby. And for innovation, out of the box ideas, I'm going to go ahead and put some Larimar out. That was the first one that came to mind. Larimar helps with, it also helps with finding your spiritual purpose, if anyone's looking for that. But this can help you have like a pioneering attitude, especially in regard to spiritual pursuits, but really about anything. It helps to encourage you to think a bold new way that maybe hasn't been done before. It also helps separate the ego from spiritual work. And it can also help to boost confidence as we begin to grow into our own. So, Larimar. So, let's see. There we go. I hope that helps. So for Korakar's stepfather's cancer, we have rutilated quartz. These rutils or lines, these fine lines that are going through the quartz, that can come in this like coppery color. It can come in like a silvery color or even like a pewter color. That basically takes the energy of clear quartz and it focuses. The intention with this stone is that it focuses healing energy exactly where it needs to go, like when one is getting cancer treatments. It also is very energizing physically, so it can help you to recover from being sick or having had a treatment. It can also help to focus the mind and to improve mind-body balance. So that is rutilated quartz. And I also have carnelian for heather healing and healing for your family to heal, grow, and come together as a team. Yep, here we go. So this is carnelian, which helps with relationships of all kinds. It also helps discourage apathy and laziness too. I shall find that later. It's a stone that very much supports the sacral chakra, which is how we relate to others in the world around us. So there we go. So this can help with everything from fertility to healing wounds to cold and allergies. It also helps with attracting a mate if that's your intention. But most importantly, this is how we relate to each other. So it's how we show up and leave enough space for the other person and basically how we work together. So this can be really, really, really helpful for families. I'm also going to bring in Dalmatian jasper. Dalmatian jasper, just like the rutilated quartz has rutils going through it, Dalmatian jasper has streaks of black tourmaline going through it. And black tourmaline helps to repel negative energy. This can really clear our energy. It looks like a Dalmatian. Clears our energy, can clear the energy of a space. It's also really helpful for bringing about cooperation. It helps to clear the air and allows people to see each other more freely. It can also be really helpful for things like digestive issues and for beating cynicism. So there we go. I hope that that helps. And let's see, who else did I miss? Yeah, Larimar is awesome. Susan for family, legal issues, motivation, energy, attraction of buyers to you and your sister's art. So for family, we got that. Legal issues, let's do some aquamarine. may justice prevail kind of stone. Also helps support the movement of fluids in the body and supports the teeth and gums. It's also a really helpful stone for keeping people away who tend to almost look for a fight. I like to call them the always aggrieved or easily aggrieved or already aggrieved. This is like, I often joke about it being the anti-Karen stone. But yeah, it also is very much linked with justice. So I'm going to bring that in for, things being sussed out within the courts. So that's aquamarine. For attracting buyers, I'm going to bring in cinnabar, which is a very toxic stone. The parts of this stone that are red, if you look, those are the only parts that are cinnabar. Cinnabar is mercury. And this, for a long time, we used mercury in all kinds of things, just like we used lead in all kinds of things, until we were like, oh, that's really not very good. Mercury was long thought to be, or cinnabar, is long thought to be the merchant stone. You would put it in a business with the intention that it would attract customers. So we have that there. So I wish you all the luck there. Motivation, we have polychrome jasper. Let's see. Family, we have carnelian. Also going to bring in citrine for general bringing in the wealth that we could all use so much. Let's see, where did I put that? There we go. Citrine can help, whether it's looking for customers specifically or just looking for any kind of way to be open to financial abundance. Citrine is it. Citrine forms under the ground's crust very similarly to amethyst. In fact, it was amethyst at one time, and under the Earth's surface, it was subjected to enough heat over time to turn it this brownish orange. And it is superb for attracting abundance and deciding, well, really being able to tell what of your thoughts are really based in thoughts and what's really intuition. So sometimes it can be a little hard to tell those apart, and it's kind of necessary if you want to have a well-rounded decision. So that can be a great stone for that as well. So all the luck for you, Susan. Thank you for being here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do Belinda's next. So first we have Fuchsite. And this is one that helps to boost the power of other stones. It's a great stone for joy and fun, and seeing fun is like a necessary thing, and making time for joy, making space for joy in our lives, because that is really important. It also helps things like encouraging that play, but also spinal alignment, sleep disturbances. This is one that's also aligned with inner child type work. So if you're healing childhood trauma with that kind of a lens, or if you're working on anything having to do with carpal tunnel, this can be a really helpful stone. So that's Fuchsite. So put you there. And Septarian, I have Septarian, and I know what I use it for, but I actually want to peek into a book. So let's do that. Let's use Cassandra Eason's The Crystal Handbook, shall we? Okay. Septarian also goes by Dragonstone. So here is what it looks like, and I will read to you a little bit from this book. Believed to be useful for muscle spasms, pains, lesions, cracked skin, and the immune system on the physical level. Nurturing energy fosters connection to independent living. Oh, I like that. So this is a stone that's thought to be able to harmonize with your energy, so that in a way it's carrying your energy with you, like carrying more of your energy with you, which can make it a little easier for you to be yourself, for you to stand your ground and things like that. Yeah, it's really interesting. And also keeping your focus, that this can really help you if you're distracted by doing too many things at once and you're trying to get away from the multitasking and get into the monotasking, focusing on one thing. This is a stone that's thought to help. I could really use that. But yeah, this is Septarian. I have used this in the past for emotional maturity, like if you're going through some really difficult times, to mature emotionally through it. And so I often recommend it as one of the stones for for people's Saturn returns. This can be a really helpful stone, but it's interesting to see other people's take on it. So let's put some Septarian in here. There we go. Thank you for requesting that. And let's see what else. So Chris has some good requests. We have peridot, iolite. We do have rudolite. We don't have herkimer or aqua aura. So herkimer is one we often think about Greg and Susan with. And this is a stone that can make what you're manifesting or asking the universe for. It can set the intention that you want that to be in alignment with the greatest good of everyone involved and everyone that it touches. It helps us to be in the present moment, which, I mean, there can be no better place to come from when we're asking the universe for our next steps, is to like be aware and in our true present. It's also really helpful for balancing energies, whether it's within a group or in a space. It helps with metabolism and intuitive ability too, as well as relaxation. So let's go ahead and bring in some herkimer. And the next stone we have is aqua aura. And like I mentioned in the beginning, peridot helps somewhat with depression and things like that. I find aqua aura to be really helpful because I struggle with depression. I'm also one of those people I'm not the healing arts lady that's gonna shame modern medicine. Nope. Do all the things that you know are right for you. I trust you to know what's in your own best interest. I use meds. I use all the things I can at my disposal, including energy work and crystals. And this is part of that. This is aqua aura. It's a stone that's been altered through a man-made process. It was processed using gold, actually, which brought this to this beautiful shade of blue. And beneath this blue sort of coating is clear quartz crystal. And this is definitely thought to be helpful for things like depression as well as seasonal affective disorder. So, aqua aura. And I hope that that's helpful. Let's see what else we got. Carnelian pyrite and moonstone. Sapphire blue kyanite. rose quartz. Rose quartz makes it a lot easier to let go of the things that we no longer need, because it supports us to feel like we are full of unconditional love and to start to set the tone that that's what we expect. So it makes it a lot easier to let go of something that's not great if we're kind of sure that there's something better to come in. And this is one of those stones that reassures us and lets us know that, yeah, there is something better that can come along and hold up in that space. And so we'll bring this in. I'm gonna put that here under our iolite. Blue kyanite helps us to accept ourselves exactly as we are. It's a great remedy to things like shame and guilt and any kind of I'm not good enough type things or imposter syndrome. It's also supportive of neurological issues that impact speech and mobility. And it can also be really helpful with understanding the intuitive wisdom that we get. So if you're having a hard time understanding your dreams, your card readings, anything like that, blue kyanite can help you to kind of suss out with it what everything means. So we'll bring that in. And we've got sapphire is another stone that's great for channeling, mediumship, connecting to spirit, and being able to then take those messages and boil them down to what your client needs to hear. So for those of us who do any kind of channeling, tarot cards, anything like that, this is a super great stone to have. I had an in-person client for a tarot reading today. I also do those online through Zoom. You can learn more at learnreikiphiladelphia.com, or it's linked in the description. And I had a piece of this in my pocket to help not only take the information from spirit that I was hearing, but how do I translate it so that it's meaningful to my client? Absolutely this stone. So sapphire. It can be a little bit ungrounding if you're not used to having a grounding practice or working with this kind of thing. So I would definitely recommend getting good with your grounding practices before you take on sapphire. But then absolutely, it's a bold and beautiful stone. We have pyrite, which also helps to manifest financial abundance. I often think about this for Korakar's mom, but this also helps with protection and opening intuition. So if you're just opening to your intuition or in a new way, this is a great stone. It's a weird, like, yes, I want to be open and I kind of want to put up a filter too. It can be really challenging at first, and pyrite can be really helpful with that. It's also thought to support the brain and memory, as well as lungs, fever, and it's supposed to help support if you are undergoing any kind of radiation treatment to help mitigate the side effects. So we will bring that in. And it is fool's gold. So fool's gold brings the real gold. We'll bring in some pyrite. Great. Moonstone helps us to connect with the rhythms of nature. It's a stone that reminds us that all things happen in their time. The tides are controlled by the moon, and all of these things are interconnected in ways beyond what we understand. When we talk about Moonstone, I often think about the High Priestess Tarot card. It's a lot about connection to the divine feminine. It's very protective of women. It's also one that helps us to connect to ancient wisdom, as well as any kind of older knowledge. If you're studying like an old technique or an old magical tradition, this can be a really helpful stone. This is one that also attracts love. It helps us to accept sacred timing, in a sense. because it reminds us that things happen all in their time. It's also helpful for intuition and releasing any kind of older patterns or what no longer serves. And it's thought to be very protective of people traveling, especially by car. So we have Moonstone here. And let's go ahead and put Moonstone. We have a ruby down. Making a mess. There we go. Nope, let's go here. There we go. And that's Moonstone. So let's see if anyone else had any requests, if I missed anything. Pyrite? Yes, the name of that stone was pyrite. I'll type it into the chat because I know trying to decide how, figure out how to spell them is hard. So there we go, it's in the chat. Pyrite, pyrite. And it also goes by Fool's Gold. That's an easy one to get. I don't have it in my crystal shop, but you can find it for pretty affordably. It's not an expensive stone. You're welcome. So let's see, make sure I didn't forget anything. Let's see. Okay, and Anne-Marie, you had mentioned that you're attracting negative energy in the wrong people. There's some other stuff we can do for that. Red Tiger Eye. This is probably the most protective stone I have. I love working with it. I have a big old grid of it. It's lovely. It's also really pretty. So yeah, highly protective. It also helps with calling in quick financial abundance too if you need it like in a hurry. But essentially Red Tiger Eye, just like Golden Tiger Eye, but it was closer to iron underground, so it gave it this red hue. This helps with anything from sexism, gaslighting, to like mundane bullying and psychic attack, and really just not great people, all the way up to like nasty spiritual work. This protects against all of it. So this is a great stone to have around if you're having any trouble with other people. So let's go here and here. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pick a couple of stones and you're going to vote on them, which ones we want to add to the grid. And while you're voting, I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is, a little bit of how this works, what to expect, and then we're going to get right into the healing. And you're welcome, Anne-Marie. So give me a moment to pick a couple of stones. Sorry, it's taken a little bit longer than normal, but it'll be worth it. So here's what I got. And by the way, for those of you who are new, you are not limited to just one vote. And if you look in the chat, you'll kind of see what I mean and how this goes. There's no wrong way to vote. The first is aventurine. This is a stone that helps to support the heart center. It helps us to gradually start to see that we are and can be more than we think we are and can be. It helps to encourage us and see that there's maybe some limits that we've set for our own potential that we can transcend. It's also thought to help things like the eyes, the heart, as well as allergies and fertility. And the other is just a plain old, I think we all have really clear ideas today of what we want and need. So this is a clear quartz tower, and this will help take all of those intentions that you've set and everything in the grid and kind of like focus it and send it up to spirit to be heard. So clear quartz, because it's an amplifier stone, it amplifies the energy too. Or aventurine, and remember, you're not limited to just one vote. So go ahead and vote. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is, and then we're going to dive right in. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, I'm Danielle Stimpson. I am the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. If you want to learn more about me, my live online Reiki certification courses, social media, community Discord, crystal shop, and also one-on-one sessions and readings over a distance and in person, go ahead and visit learnreikiphiladelphia.com, as well as check out the links in the description. So what is Reiki? I work with Usui Reiki, which was named after this particular method's founder, Mikao Usui, in the early 1920s in Japan. This is Japan when it was under imperial rule, and this method that he was teaching needed to be very secular. And so I feel like that's why it's deeply spiritual and very secular. It was what it needed to be at that time. And that's also what we kind of need right now, especially here in the States. We really respond well to things that are secular and allow us to put our own spin on faith into them. And so the concept at the core of what Reiki is can best be described in terms of Shintoism, the indigenous spirituality of Japan, in which everything has a soul and everything is interconnected. When we have that interconnectedness, there are additional energies at play that support everyone. One of those being a spiritually guided soul energy or life energy, which is usually how Reiki is translated. This particular energy is already flowing everywhere and through everyone. It's a part of you and me and everyone and everything everywhere. Even if we don't know what it is or that it exists, it's still there. It still exists. Essentially, what I'll be doing today is connecting to that energy and directing more of it to you to support your body, mind, and spirit to do what they already do with this energy every day, which is support your greater highest being and greater good. You may feel some sensations in your physical body. You may have some emotions rise up or be released. You may have a really opportune time to think some things through, maybe get some things settled and parsed in a way that you haven't been able to otherwise. And you may have a deeply spiritual experience where you suddenly get an epiphany or just sort of download an answer to a problem you've had. You may also just have a really great nap, and that's wonderful too. I encourage you to enjoy this in any way that feels right to you. You can lay down or sit up. I encourage you to get as physically comfortable as you can, but it doesn't matter what position you're in. You can also use this time, rather than sitting still, to stretch or journal or move around or whatever feels right to you. There's no wrong way to enjoy this session. You definitely don't have to keep your mind silent. You definitely don't have to focus on anything. Just be open. I will send for 25 minutes, during which I will turn the lights down. You'll notice them moving slowly and evenly from one color to the next. At no point will they flash or strobe. And I will put on a beautiful background of music. If you want to learn more about our musical creator, all of her information is linked at the bottom of the description. You can check out her YouTube as well. And at the end of the 25-minute session, you'll hear my voice come back. I'll encourage you to take a deep breath in and out, slowly come back to your body, and then I'll reopen the chat and you can ask any questions that you have or share any feelings for, any experiences too that you feel inclined to share. And then we'll go ahead on, have a beautiful rest of our day. So go ahead and get comfortable in any way that feels right, and you don't have to super hold still. So let's go ahead back, see what won that vote, and get into the healing. Let's see what we got. We've got, oh, it's both. Wow, what a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's always both. So let's go ahead and do, whoop. Yeah, there we go. So we'll take this guy, put this one here, and let's see, Amazonite, Amazonite here, and there we go. So I think we're about as even as we can get. And we'll put this right smack dab in the center, which makes it hard to see, but that's okay. There we go. Okay. So everyone go ahead, chill out. Oh, the one last thing I forgot to mention. If you're watching this as a replay, or for those of you who are new, just as we're all interconnected, and the energy flows through all of us, so it doesn't matter where we are. It also doesn't matter when we are. So if you're watching this in the future, hello from the past, just be open to the healing and you'll absolutely feel every bit of it. And for those of you who are here today, if you ever feel like you need a session, and I'm not live, though I am here 5 times a week, go ahead and feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss an opportunity to jump in. But it's always the same days and times. They're listed in the description below. So you can always be here. You can also check out old videos on the replay list. There's a whole playlist, and you can just listen to the healing or the crystals too, whatever feels right on a given day. So there's always healing available for you on this channel. And with that, yeah, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like the stream before you head out today, and enjoy your session. I will see you in 25 minutes. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly move your fingers and toes. And as you gently come back, spend a moment just noticing how you feel. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know in the chat. And thank you so much for being here today. It was an honor and a pleasure to share this healing with you. I will return normal days and times, Friday 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., Sunday 8 p.m., and Tuesdays 8 p.m., and of course for Wednesdays at 4. And for those of our international viewers, the U.S. did skip ahead 1 hour this past Sunday. So, but yeah, thank you all so very, very much for being here. You're welcome, Vincent and Heather. It's a bit cold and windy here in Philly. Nothing to complain about given the weather everywhere else, but wherever you are, I hope that you're warm and cozy and safe. Yeah, until next time, everyone. If you have any questions, you can still ask them here, and if you think of them later, you can reach out to me through my website, learnreikiphiladelphia.com, or you can leave them as a comment if it's something that you don't mind sharing. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you feel so much better, and I hope to see you again. So take care of yourselves, be well, and bye for now.